What is up and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy flippinstoop. Second video of the day. I challenged myself this year because I think a lot of my lack of progress on YouTube was predicated towards I wasn't being consistent on YouTube, right? So it's challenging me already this year, which I think it's going to give me a lot of room for growth throughout the video content and eBay. And I want to try to help you guys as well challenge yourself on a daily basis in order to get the growth that you desire to get from reselling. Now, everybody has a different goal. Everybody has a different viewpoint of what they want on eBay, and that's what I think makes it great. I try to be pretty open to wherever you're trying to get to in reselling, and it's pushing me to write down some things, which I think is a positive thing. And I was just in the gym a little bit ago, I was thinking of self-defeating behaviors that I've had throughout my life that led me to being out of shape, to making poor decisions. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, this all correlates, if you wanted to, right? It's perspective, but it all correlates with running a successful eBay business too. And that is what the topic's going to be. It's going to be self-defeating behaviors that will make you lose when it comes to reselling. There's only 10 of them, but there could be 1,000 of them. Okay. So I'm doing my best to make them as where I think everybody will struggle with a little bit. Basically, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Is there only 10? No, there's probably, I could probably stay on this topic for the next 30 days and people could still comment on other self-defeating behaviors. And what I want you guys to do in this group and on the YouTube channel as well is get involved. Tell me some of your self-defeating behaviors. I think the best thing to do for growth is to be okay and be vulnerable. Now, these self-defeating behaviors, the majority of them, I've dealt with myself, right? I dug them out of circumstances and situations that I've had throughout the eBay reselling journey. Now, some of them, I'm sure everybody can relate with a couple of them, but maybe not all of them. But maybe you have some self-defeating behaviors that you went through yourself on eBay and expose that in yourself, which what that does, it makes you vulnerable, but you narrow down a point that needs work, and that gives you something to work towards, which will help you grow throughout the long run. So we're going to jump right into this. These are the 10 that I wrote down. I wrote these down in about 15 minutes. Why did it take me 15 different self-defeating behaviors? One, I went through them. Two, I was in the gym for an hour and a half today, and I was thinking about these, why these self-defeating behaviors happened in my life and why I allowed them to happen in my life, okay? So we're going to jump right into number one, and I think this is any aspect of life, but it's a lot to do with eBay, and that is procrastination. It is putting things off because you think you got 24 hours to do it, you know, or you're not going to be held accountable if you don't do it today. This, I think, is a very well-rounded, and almost everybody can relate a little bit with procrastination. Procrastinated at something they don't want to do. Would you agree with that, or would you disagree with that, right? So that is one thing that now listen, everything I'm talking about, all these behaviors, if you can work on them and shift them another way, which I'm in the process of doing for 2023 for myself and my family, will make you a much better reseller and probably a much better person, right? So procrastination is number one. Number two is getting angry, right? Getting angry at a situation, a customer, or your current place on eBay. What do I mean by that? Your current amount of sales, your current, whatever it might be. Maybe you can't get inventory right now. Listen, if it's in the beginning, that's part of the process. Don't get angry. Come up with, because here's what happens. You ever hear the old analogy of, I used to hear people talk about this all the time, and I'd laugh about it, and I'd be like, wow, you're not skilled at this then whatsoever. People that are in the boxing ring, there's very few that use anger to motivate them. There are a few, right? But most people become a better fighter when they're in a relaxed, calm state of mind, because you can't be focused with anger because all kinds of other emotions pop up and you're going to go all off in different directions, and you might say something to somebody you don't want to say, or you might just say, hey, fuck this, and jump right back to procrastination and say, I'm not going to do it, right? So unless you can take anger and tilt it to a different emotion to get you focused or maybe even motivated. If you do come up with anger in a situation throughout your reselling journey, which if you don't, I think you're inhuman, right? We have all got angry about something on eBay. A return, a silly return that you know it wasn't fair, it was unjust, but it's part of the game. You're going to get some returns that are not fair and they're unjust, and eBay is going to go with the customer, okay? So not getting angry, right, is difficult. That takes some time, right? I'll be 42 years young this year, and I still get angry over things, okay? So this isn't something you're just going to fix overnight either. So getting angry, that is a self-defeating behavior that will lead you, it can actually ruin your entire eBay business. Not being a pessimist can ruin a business. It can ruin a home. It can ruin a family. It can ruin every circumstance in your life if you allow it to. So that was number 2. Number 3, not counting your books. Not knowing if you're actually making profit from your items or you're breaking even it might sound very simple and very like, well, no shit, right? But it's a lot of people are not making profit and they think they are. Right? They're going to buy an item for $5 and they're selling it for 10. And after the eBay fees, after their taxes, and after their time, you're breaking even. You're not really making a dollar. Or whether you're making progress quarterly, yearly, weekly, monthly, however you'd like to do it. So pay attention to your books. And if you haven't been, get in the habit of doing so. Number 4, not doing the research. This is a no-brainer too, right? But there's a lot of times I've went into a thrift store and didn't do my research, and because it sold 6 months ago, I thought it'd sell today for the same price, and it absolutely was not the case scenario. The item nobody even wanted. The skinny jeans, people didn't even want them anymore, right? They were looking for flare leg, or they were looking for super wide leg denim jeans. So not doing your research is definitely grounds of you buying a whole bunch of inventory that is not going to sell, and you're wasting money. If money's going out and it's not bringing you anything back, it is bad, right? That's a no-brainer. That part's a no-brainer. But sometimes we get comfortable and we think we know what's hot and trending, and if you're not doing your research, you're madly mistaken, okay? Now, mind you guys and girls, this was all something that I've went throughout my reselling journey. Right? I'm not just pulling these out of my head and thinking that some people's going to struggle with this. I actually went through all these, okay? So not being consistent. This is one thing I talk about a lot on this channel, in this Facebook group as well, how important consistency is, and people probably get sick of hearing it, but I almost got to say it so much because we all need it beat into our head. Without consistency, you're never going to get any great results. You're not going to get, I mean, if you go to the gym for 1 day a week for the next 365 days, and the person that goes 4 times a week, I'm almost certain that person that goes 4 times a week, depending, if you're both doing the same thing, right, is going to get more results than you. It's funny. I always thought that the guy or the girl in the gym that's walking around with like the perfect physique, right? You ever seen them? Like they're taking something that I'm not aware of. No, what they're doing is they're being consistent on a routine. They're being consistent on a diet. So in my opinion, the diet is the hardest part in the gym, period, right? Like me, the gym isn't shit. I love going there. That is the best part of it. The diet. Now, when I say diet, guys, I'm not saying I'm cutting back on as a matter of fact, I'm doing the exact opposite, trying to get as much calories as I can for growth, right? But that's the hardest part for me. The consistency of actually having a healthy eating habit. Now, I'm not talking about eating healthy foods. I'm talking about eating 3 to 6 times a day. It's difficult for me. It's difficult for a lot of people, right? That's why people find it so hard to lose weight, because they'll go to the gym or whatever, they'll start walking on the treadmill, but they're not changing their diet. They're still eating 10 burger patties a day from McDonald's that's just saturated with freaking grease, right? It's going to be, even though you're doing the work, I'm not saying you won't get no results, but it's more difficult for you than if you cut back to 2 burger patties and maybe some broccoli. You know, you get the gist, right? So Not being consistent is, it's almost like you're wasting your time because you're hoping to get results out of something that you want with putting in very little bit of effort and just not being consistent. I guess you could throw discipline in there with that as well, guys, because to me, consistency and discipline are like, they're right there. It's different, but it's right there. Okay, so number 5 was not being consistent. Number 6 is not planning your day, no schedule, just going on autopilot. Yeah, I'll tell you this. Can you get results on autopilot? Yes, but you're only going to get so far on autopilot. Okay, you're only going to get so far as, well, I guess I'm only listing 10 items, so it don't matter if I do it in the morning or the night, or it don't matter if I do it third shift. And it does. It doesn't matter, guys and girls, what time you list. My people will argue that and say in the morning time's the best time. Well, I don't know about that because I've listed third shift and I've done just as good, and I've listed first and second. I've been all over the board, right? I was on autopilot for a very long time, and I'm still working on that. Okay, so when I'm saying this stuff, guys, I'm not saying I mastered these and I'm perfect at them. Okay, because I don't believe there is any such thing as perfection when it comes to anything in life. Right? There's no, matter of fact, perfectionism is it is actually an indicator of insecurity, because you're concerned about what somebody else is thinking. Anyway, we'll keep going. So not planning your day, and I've been talking a lot about the 90-day schedule and how important that is to not budge on that for at least 90 days. Because let's face it, right? 90 days might seem like a long time to you, but if you're in it for the long haul on eBay, 90 days ain't shit. 1 quarter ain't nothing. Okay, it's nothing. It's a smidgen. It's a tiny. If you plan on doing this for the next decade or 15 years or more or whatever, right? So if we can't stay consistent on a 90-day plan, how do we ever expect to get to freaking $500,000 in sales or $1 million in sales like some people we know, right? How would you ever expect to do that if you can't hold truth to yourself for 90 days? Right? This is another reason why I challenge is to see if we can actually do this. Right? Because if not, it's going to be really hard for you to make leaping bounds in progress throughout your reselling journey. Okay. Here's a big false one that will definitely fuck your whole journey up. Okay. And this is thinking all of a sudden you're your own boss. You get all the free time in the world. Wrong, right? This is like one of the reasons why I actually wanted to start a side hustle, was I was thinking, well, once it starts making enough money, I'll just have all this free time. That is wrong. The bigger you scale, the less time you have. You don't see millionaires only working 3 hours a day. Okay, they're not working 3 hours a day unless they're to a point where they hired 3,000 people, and there's only certain aspects of the business that they got to go over now. But in the beginning, you're not just going to do 3 hours a day and make $1 million in sales. It's going to be very tough for you to do that. Now, there is obsessions like if you were flipping $1 million houses or something. I don't know. I'm not in real estate yet and don't know that game, so I can't speak on that neither. But I'm sure you're going to have to do more than 3 hours a day. Okay. Impatience is one of the biggest ones. I think impatience and procrastination is right up there at the top with everything about why a reseller either makes it or doesn't. I think that is. People overthink. There's a couple other words that are going to go along with this in the next 2 self-defeating behaviors on eBay. But impatience, that's like way up. If there was a list of 1 to 100, impatience would be in the top 10 for sure. I can almost guarantee it, because people think, well, hey man, I've been doing this for 45 days and I'm not getting the results I want to get fast enough. That is going to lead you to really bad destruction when it comes out of eBay. You have to look at this, and nobody wants to hear this, but you have to, if you're building a business, you need to start looking at things in 5-year terms, okay? Or 2-year terms, 2, 5, 10. Where are you going to be at in 10 years, right? Where are you going to be at in 5 years? Where are you going to be at in 2 years? Not where am I going to be at in 45 days? If you look at 45 days to 5 years, that ain't shit but a piece of sand in the ocean. Okay, that's all that is. So learn to be more patient and believe that the work you're putting in is going to pay off. But I'm going to tell you this right now. It's never going to pay off as soon as you want it to pay off. That's facts. It's not going to happen. Once again, to the gym, if you start this week and you think by the end of 30 days you should look like Brock Lesnar, that is not going to happen for you, okay? It's not going to happen. So impatience, I believe in that strongly. Listen, patience is not a trait. Stop thinking about behaviors as traits. That was something you learned. So it can be unlearned, but it's going to take time. Okay, I'm 4 years into this game, guys, and I'm still practicing patience. I'm practicing patience in my relationship. I practice patience in my daily life. I am not a perfect patient person, and I don't believe I'll ever be, but I have got better in certain aspects, okay? I do understand in order for me to take a business from 6 figures to 7 figures in a year, it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen this year, okay? I get that now. But I didn't in the beginning. Okay. Number 9, doubt. This one cripples many resellers. It cripples many people in life from ever hitting their full potential at anything they ever try to do. Doubt is your worst enemy, even on eBay. You doubting because you're such a small person in this big sea of resellers and you're never going to make it. That attitude is going to assure you that you will never make it. So you have to get over the doubting. Right? You got to get over the doubting. Number 10, we're going to sum this up because I got a lot of work ahead of me tonight, as well as I'm sure you guys are. Hopefully, you're already done today. That'd be another great rocking thing to do, right? Overthinking. This one kills a lot of resellers before their first month. Before month 6, before month 3. The overthinking thing in the beginning is redundant, okay? It's crazy. Do I got the right lighting? Is this person going to buy my... Try your hardest to stop overthinking and implement your overthinking with action. If you can do the action and stop overthinking, you're going to get a lot better results. Okay, so maybe this goes along with being a perfectionist. Maybe my lighting isn't the greatest right now, but I'll upgrade it within the next 90 days when the sales start coming in. Right? Stop overthinking everything. Stop overthinking now I'm not telling you not to do your research, okay? I'm not saying that by no means necessary, but stop overthinking every tiny little aspect of your day, because what that does is it causes depression. It causes all kinds of other stuff. And if you're trying to build a business depressed, it is not going to be your best effort. I can almost guarantee, I can promise you that because I've been there. Okay, I overthought everything. Matter of fact, I overthought everything so much the first year. I never even listed my first item until a year after I did all the research. That crippled me. 365 days. And you can make a lot of progress on eBay in 365 days. So I crippled myself an entire year because I wanted to be the perfect reseller and have the perfect setup. Don't worry about it. Okay? Learn to do the Nike logo. You have an intuition that you want to become a reseller. I strongly suggest you to look at the Nike outlet or look at the Nike slogan. Just do it. Just do it. Your mind's telling you, okay, I can't sleep. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, but I don't got to get up till 6. Get up at 4 and just do it. Serious. Just do it. Right? That will get you a lot further than the opposite is overthinking everything. You know, there's so many people that are in life and in the reselling game that overthink so much. They cripple themselves so bad. It's ridiculous. And then they go to a doctor and they say they're clinically depressed and they're this, and they put them on medications, which is a billion-dollar industry. And then you're just numb. That is not going to get you there. Overthinking cripples people in all aspects of life, but it'll really cripple you in your eBay journey. And I think overthinking goes with a lot of doubt. Doubt and overthinking is right up there with procrastination and not being consistent, right? It goes right up there hand in hand. So that's my 10. If you guys have more, drop them in the comments below, please. If you are watching this on YouTube and you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'm going to be doing 2 videos for this entire year, every single day, whether I'm doing the video at 11:59 p.m. at night. I am going to get them up because this is something that is going to challenge my consistency, and that is one aspect in my eBay journey and in my life that I need help. So let me know where you need help. I want to hear this. I want to relate with people. I want us in this group and on the channel on YouTube to grow together and become the best, most efficient resellers we can. Why? Because I believe there's not a single reseller out there that can't make substantial freaking movements, man. But listen, you have to understand this. You are not going to build Mount Everest overnight. Okay? Buildings, skyscrapers are not built overnight. It's a group of people that take time. This is going to take you time. And if you think you're going to come across the get-rich scheme about eBay somewhere on YouTube, keep surfing around, because now you're overthinking and you're going to waste a lot of time. It's not that way. That's not me to bum anybody out, but I am here to tell you the opportunity on eBay is equal to every single soul that's in this world. It is. They don't discriminate against anything, nothing. There's no discrimination. You list the amount of items you're supposed to a day. Now, lack of listing items a day would be consistency. So you want to list items every day, right? Regardless how you do that, whether you bust your ass Monday through Friday and just upload drafts on Saturday and Sunday. That's up to you solely how you do that, right? But know this in the beginning, there's going to be a day or two you're not going to have inventory. You're not going to be able to do it. I strongly encourage you, when that happens throughout your journey, revise a few items, okay? Because nobody in the beginning, unless they just had an ungodly amount of inventory for whatever the reason was, they were a shopaholic, whatever, they inherited a bunch of stuff. Very few people, resellers, start out with thousands of items to list and they don't have to worry about inventory. Most of us resellers in the beginning, that's one of our biggest overthinking concerns is inventory. Listen, it's a process and it's going to happen for you. You just got to be patient. It's your boy, flippinstoop. Thank you all so much for subscribing. Thank you all so much for joining the group, participating in the groups. It's your boy, once again, flippinstoop. I love you all. Till tomorrow.